All right, all right. What's up, guys? Okay, so this is part two of the stagnant high ticket sales fix, offer market, and how to uh, make sure that your sales keep growing, or that you keep the same amount, or you reposition it to the right market, and to make sure that we are in a spot where irregardless of the economic conditions, you're in a spot where you're adding, you're building, you're growing. The old phrase of like, if you're not growing, you're dying. And one of the things that I talked to one of my clients about recently was they're telling me all this great stuff they're going to come out with in the next quarter regarding messaging and these new books we're going to come out with. And I was like, okay, stop. Like, what does our current data look like? What's our lead flow? What's our conversion rate? Is it trending down or is it trending up? Is it, what do we need to fix? And then we go to this thing of, if you recall in the last module, we talked about the who's who, right? Who's your level 10 client, 12 client that has the money, is happy to work with you, loves working with you, and that it has a very identifiable pressing problem that's urgent, immediate, and that they potentially life-threatening. They are looking to escape. Okay, and then this part now. So one thing this part now is we're going to go into like the offer and how we segue that into the offer. Now, if you'll notice so far, I haven't talked much about copywriting. I haven't talked about funnels, right? I haven't talked about a webinar. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm a big, happy proponent of like the 2-page Google Doc method is because you're probably making notes. You're probably, oh yeah, we should try this or try that. Like with the Google Doc method, you could just bang this stuff out, 2 emails, 1 post, and you can start testing these things. But it is what it is. We'll get into that more if you like. If not, the other thing I just say is that if you want me to go more in depth with you on this, because what we're going to talk about now with the offer, and we're going to talk about with the level 10 client, and matching up the kind of the flow I just kind of mentioned. Face-to-face or one-on-one is always easier to get super clear on this because I'm kind of talking to you, but I'm also talking to potentially hundreds or thousands of other people. And so I can give examples, but I can't be as specific to what you're doing, okay? And I'll give a couple examples right now. So by the way, so what you can do is you can always comment or private message us or email to reply to one of our emails asking for a one-on-one half day or just type in workshop, and we'll get you the details of our upcoming live workshop. That is either usually in Chicago, Nashville, or somewhere warm like Florida. Okay, so let's pretend we know exactly who we're going after. And let's pretend that we have identified their immediate, urgent, present pain that is potentially life-threatening. They're looking to escape, okay? It's very, very important that we identify that. If we can't identify that, going on to the offer is kind of a waste of time, just so you know. If you have questions on that, you could comment in the Facebook group, and then I'll do my best to respond to you. I'll try my best faster rather than later. Do you remember when I was telling you the story about in 2009, 2008, I was looking to sell my company, and in 2008, we were selling a licensing program to dental implant docs. And that started decreasing, like, because they were looking at their expenses, and that was an easy one. It was hard for us to really track. I mean, they could have kept using my marketing materials, and frankly, I wouldn't have known, right? The mastermind at the time, again, you had guys that liked to be in the mastermind. They didn't view the mastermind as a urgent, pressing pain that was possibly life-threatening, allowing them to escape. The the radical decrease in phone calls and tightening of money of people. Now, in 2008, one of the big differences was the real estate market and the banks just got crushed, right? So care credit and all these things went up. So it squeezed people a lot harder in offices than current situation. Where currently there's still a lot of people that have a lot of money that is either stocked up or they have it from, the relief money and stuff like that. The one thing I probably would have spent more time thinking through is that I was able to identify certain problems. Now in dentistry, this is for my coaching clients at the time. They wanted in-office help. I personally did not really want in-office help. I didn't want to provide exactly what they were looking for. And frankly, at the time, I still to this day, I'm not qualified to do some of the things that were required. My existing client right now is amazing at getting the team on board, training the doctors, training the staff, phones, all through the financial. I was not good at that. Now, looking back, if I had the maturity, remember in the module 1, I want to encourage you to think through this now. This is coming to you. If I had the maturity and wisdom that I think I do, like these gray hairs and thinning of the hair a little bit probably relates to a little bit of wisdom, is I would have looked for a partner, like a partner company that I trusted. I probably chose the wrong person to try and sell my company to, and made a lot of foolish decisions, which he was able to fill some of those voids for our doctors. But we don't need to get into that. But anyhow, so what I want to encourage you is when we go through this matrix of where's the profit at in your business, if you have the audience, okay, you have the power, okay? If you don't have an audience yet and you have an offer that converts, then you can go to somebody who has an audience, and we talk about that in our unlimited traffic series. But that's one of the moves. So you have options. So when I go through these, the one thing I would just really encourage you is like, Ed, I don't have an audience. Well, don't worry about it. We'll go get an audience. Hey, Ed, I don't really have the solution for these guys. Well, don't worry. You can license the solution. You can partner with the solution. You can buy the solution with no money out of pocket. There's a lot of ways to do it. And when I was working with Roland and consulting for equity, that was the big model. It's like, how do you utilize your consulting to gain equity? And so that you can get equity in companies, not just through consulting, you can do it through coaching, or you can do it through arbitrage. There's so many ways to do it. So I just wanted you to be open-minded on that, okay? And so we've identified our things. So let's talk about your offer right now. So one of the things that I actually learned this from my mentor Yoda, but we were doing this 13 years ago in dentistry. So I guess is what we did, and I worked with different partners. Like certain partners don't want to do installments at anything, at any level. They just don't want to do it, right? And so let's say we're selling let's just do some math, right? Let's say we're doing an $18,000 program, right? And I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to give you statistics in a minute to back this up, by the way. Or say I'm doing a continuity club, which I'll talk about positioning in a second. What is easier for someone to justify, okay? Is it easier for someone to justify, I'm doing some math with you. Is it easier for someone to justify $18,000 up front, or let's say $2,000 a month? Would you have more people join your club if you had people do $18,000 a month, or $2,000 a month for 12 months? 12 installments of, how about this, 1,987. What is that? 12,000 times 1,987 equals 23,844. Okay? Now, I guarantee you, absolutely guarantee you, that if if you had an offer that was 18,000 and you reworked it so that it was maybe a flat rate. Let's just do this. So it's 23,000. Let's just take 25,000 because that's a good number. So $25,000. I'm gonna minus 5,000, or I'm gonna minus 3,000, or I'm gonna minus whatever you want to do, right? Minus 5,000 equals what? 20,000, and then we're gonna divide it by 12. 1,667. So let me ask a question. Almost everybody in the world can come up with $5,000 to be in your higher ticket program, correct? I can even argue that most people can come up with $10,000, but like $5,000, $4,995. If you're delivering a solution to a problem that it appears to be immediate, urgent, painful, and potentially life-threatening if they don't escape it, right? If they don't figure it out, would they be able to come up with $5,000, right? And then the question is, if they're willing to pay $5,000, then what is a simple $1,667 a month for the next 12 months? So this is where I'm going with this. Hey, John, it's $18,000, okay? Oh, really? You don't have any installments? We have no installments. Either $18,000 or you're not in. Or we could do 2 installments of $9,000. You're going to have a harder time converting that. I'm just letting you know that, right? But what if your tuition was $25,000? If you paid in full, it's $18,000, okay? And if you want to do installments, it's a $5,000 deposit with 11 installments of 12 installments of $1,667. Do you notice? Do you feel the difference in that? Do you feel that? Now, my mentor Yoda, who I talk about in our high ticket made easy group, and there's an interview with him, and he's the inventor of the 2-page Google Cash Machine, which you got to get, and the second helping campaign, and the Zoom appreciation event. You just got to get it, okay? It's a toolkit that will prep you on so many levels, okay? Now, he's done the data on this, and you will get 80% of the people will finish their installments, right? But you're potentially going to get a 3 times conversion rate. And I'm not going to do the math for you right here because that's something I would plan if we were in person and we had more time. We don't have the time. But the amount of money that is I think 5x of what you're probably currently making by being like, no, I'm only taking this. So look at your offer. I mean, and you're like, I don't have an $18,000 offer. Well, let's just take $3,000. Let's say your offer is $3,000, right? So what is 3,000? Let's take 4,500. So 4,500 divided by 12. $375 a month. Okay. So what if you did 12 installments of $375? Well, guess what? You got an extra $1,500. People are paying more money. So instead of taking your tuition and going lower, instead, like if you're charging $3,000 now, and you're like, well, if you pay in full, I'll give it to you for $24.95. So you're taking away $500 out of your pocket. You're incentivizing to pay in full. But what if you made it $2,995, and then, or it's $1,000 up front, and then 12 installments divided by 2,000. Okay, $166 a month. I mean, you got 1,000 up front. Now you're getting a stream of 167, and most importantly, this is what you got to write down. Most importantly, you have a customer, a buying customer, someone who's taken out their credit card and they've given it to you. Okay. Now here's where we get really okay. So that's on the high ticket stuff. So you're going to take some time, just do some money math, okay, and look at how you're positioning it. Is it, if you're saying, hey, join my mastermind and it's this amount of money per month, or is it 12 installments of it? You're going to have a better stick rate. Sorry for my dog barking. I could pause it. 1 second, guys. All right, so the next thing is we just talked about installments for high ticket, right? Reposition things. You're going to get more people through your funnel. You're also going to learn a lot, and you're also going to get more people asking questions, which is they're expressing their uncertainties about your ability to get them a result, or their ability to take action, or their ability to implement. They're going to tell you, okay? It gives you more opportunity to resolve fears and concerns that if you just have a number and boom, that's it, or there's no way to get into the tent, okay? Just more doubts that it's going to work. So, and when that happens, everybody, I just got to tell you, it slows momentum. There's less deal flow. There's a lot of people, myself included, that if I had an opportunity to join something and they're going to give me installment options, right? I'm way more likely to jump in. Way more likely to jump in. I'd rather keep my cash than putting it in. And this leads me to my next thing, which is another counterintuitive thought. Like, I know a lot of the gurus say never have low ticket. Well, the reason why you may have low ticket and mid ticket, by the way, which could be $199. One of our friends, Rebecca Duran, I might be saying her name slightly wrong. She's selling a simple $187 product. A month later, launched a higher ticket seminar to that list that she built up over the past month, and boom, it sold out within one day, one email. Like if you are only relying on high ticket, the problem is when high ticket goes away or people are less likely to jump in, your business is a one-legged stool. The second thing on this is that you have a harder time. You have a harder time building partnerships down the road, and we talk about that in our partnership module when we talk about how do you scale a coaching and consulting business. Is that it's you have to think about acquiring assets, and part of your equity in a lot of cases is your ability to market the thing or your ability to sell stuff. And smaller, if I only have 25 people in my coaching club, and let's say I'm making $2 million a year, but then all of a sudden that goes dry, which, trust me, right now people are experiencing that. It puts a hurting on people, okay? And so you don't have as many options. So that's number one reason why. Number two reason why to have different types of tiers is that you have different pain points. And I talk about this in, I did a lot of modules today, so I don't remember if I was talking about the, I was talking about my case study, I think on 1,200 to 63, 1,200, spend 1,200 bucks, 63,000, is that one of the things is that if I have the ability to go after multiple markets with like a 2-page Google Doc with a 3-hour training is the $199 widget that solves a problem, by the way, right? That solves a problem. And that they're trying to escape. You just got a client for life. They're going to upgrade. Every single mentor that I've spent in the last 5 years that I've spent $25,000 or more with, I usually experience something free from them at first. Or a friend of mine referred them, so I went and bought their low ticket thing, and then I was bam, I'm either going in their mastermind or I'm not. After I experience what we talk about in the offer side or in the psychology side, which is the transformational insight that you can help them escape their immediate, urgent, present, possibly life-threatening pain. You know what I mean? So anyhow, I get a little excited about that, but in dentistry, I would have never experienced that if I only was I'm only helping dentists go after general dentists, and it was a lot of it was by listening to my my customers telling me, I got success doing dental implants. Okay, well, let's do something specifically for dental implants. Well, that built out a $120,000 a month recurring income stream of licensing, which was on top of this one. And then I was listening to doctors say, hey, we need some help with stuff in office. So I got a hygienist. Well, guess what? We created Team Training Institute. So I have 3 wheels. And this is what I mean by by building my first tier of $797 and $997 and $1997 buyers, and I'm not giving you those price points to do it. I mean, every niche is slightly different, but I had a lot of customers, so it was very easy for me to then go and add a new profit center. And then, oh wow, we have stuff for staff. Well, there's different types of people in this group. Let's say there's 2,000, 3,000 customers. Well, it's going to be a different 20, 30, 40, 100 people that want the implant stuff than it is the staff training stuff. But I have no marketing cost. because I've acquired them already. Do you see the power when I'm explaining? That means those extra profit centers are 50, 60, 70% pure profit, okay? So maybe you got to re-listen to this, because I just shared like the part of how we help scale is because you got to dial in this offer. You get the offer in, you get more people coming through it. If you're like, Ed, I don't like the number of leads, I don't like the number of clients, well, then we go into who's who, we create certain constraints on that, and we help you back out. But when people are getting tight with their money, you need to find more ways for them to walk through the doorway. And it goes back to module 1, which is the who's who, and what are their 5 different, escapable pains, present pains they want to escape. Okay. So that's the initial offer, high ticket offer, installment. Positioning, again, we can go more on positioning, easier to do in person, easier to do when we have more time to look at your positioning. But I will say that positioning it as an installment program rather than a monthly recurring membership fee is way more powerful, okay? And then there's a retention perspective that we do month 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, all based on results, not just by being popular, based on results that you get them, okay? That's part of the toolkits too, by the way. Risk reversal. Okay, so not every club's going to have the same thing, right? Now, there's a couple different ways to do this, and I'll give you some very basic ones. One is when it's information, so there's not a lot to, I'm not losing much, right? You could be very, very aggressive on your guarantee. You could do a money-back guarantee, a double your money-back guarantee, a do this, it's conditional. If you do everything I showed you in my toolkit and you still didn't get results, I'll pay you, $2,000 on top of refunding your money, right? And that's a case-by-case basis. I don't love that necessarily for I know some consultants use that, like if you hire me for a day consulting, and I don't love that for that. It may attract the wrong buyer, where you could also use the no guarantee as a positioning tool. Listen, there's no guarantee on any of this stuff. I can't tell you if it's going to work for you or not. I can just tell you about the results we've had in the past. And that's it's a very powerful position, okay? And I like that one as well. The way we took risk off the table, like when we partner, which is the case study I share on we spent $1,200, made $63,000 by using direct mail to get people to share interest. Again, past buyers share interest in your coaching club, is for me to build partners. There's one of the tools I might use is, hey, look, I'll take all the risk, I'll spend the money. Would you be open to me promoting to your database, your customer list, with a new way through direct mail, or the phone, or text, or whatever it might be for you, or a fan page, doesn't matter. And we'll convert them. All we're going to do is bring you money. That's it. And I'll make you look amazing. This is the most important thing they're worried about is, well, am I going to look scammy or whatever? No, I'll make you look amazing, right? But so that takes all the pressure off them. Okay, so we do that with some partner deals. Like if the deal has a 6 or 7 figure opportunity, it's a proven offer, it's a proven funnel. They have success. They don't know how to do that side of it. They're too busy. They don't want to grow an extra profit center, which they may screw up, by the way. Which they most likely will screw up, by the way. It's a great partnership. It alleviates them of any time commitment. They just get 50%, 60% more per sale while building their high ticket client base more rapidly. Okay. I don't think I have much more on the offer stuff. I know I could probably figure out a few things, like how to package it. Like I'm not going to go in that in here. Like how do you package your coaching? Like what should you be giving? There's like, I was working with a partner that I felt gave way too much. I felt like his biggest problem was he was teaching too much. Like he was running three webinars a week. I mean, you're not going to have successful students if it's 3 webinars a week. Like what they're supposed to be working, they're supposed to be executing. You know what I mean? And if the guy's always on your webinar, I mean, he's more a learner, he's a consumer, not an action taker. And there's certain gurus and experts out there that you got to be very careful about that. Like, do you want to be somebody who's delivering 17,000 hours of content. And so you develop people that are just consumers, but they're not action takers. Okay, so that's super important. Okay, where if I was able to get you a result in 1 hour on a training, would you give me, like, if I was able to help you get your next high ticket client in the next 24 hours that is going to pay you, your asking fee, would you be willing to invest 99 or 199 bucks for it? I mean, and I'll guarantee you, like, that's something I would guarantee. Like, I'll guarantee you go through this training, you do one thing I ask you to do, and if you're truly committed and you still don't get the result, just send me an email. And I mean, that's an offer a friend of ours is using right now in the low ticket to high ticket space, and she's killing it. And she's in the 2-page Google Doc as her conversion mechanism. No-brainer stuff, fellas. No-brainer stuff. Okay, so a little bit about this. So the medium that we're communicating. What is a traffic channel? Okay, now I'm going to talk more principally on this rather than you should do this on Facebook, or you should do this on LinkedIn, or you should do this on Instagram, or you should do this on email, or you should do this on Twitter. We've identified our who's who in module 1. Now we've just gone through like their present experience, right? Identified present urgent pain they want to escape, right? And then decide whether it's us that can help them or if it's a partner. It's very important, okay? And then we went through just different ways of structuring the offer. Again, we haven't talked totally about how to structure the sales copy. I would totally encourage you to go either grab the 2-page Google Doc thing, because that comes with the way to build out a quick offer. Okay, just sharing that with you right there. And if you already got a client base, you got to go get that second helping campaign. It's in the 2-page Google Doc invite that I have in the Facebook group. It's the second level. Okay, and then there's so much there about converting existing customers into higher ticket customers. Okay. But the medium, okay, so I love talking about traffic. I can talk about traffic all day long. At the end of the day, there's a couple things. One is when we're trying to figure out our offer, we're trying to get it figured out. The first thing I would ask you to look at is, where's all your traffic coming from? Okay, and for most people, it's either Facebook or Instagram, frankly, or they're going to LinkedIn and they're organically doing it. Could be podcasts. Podcasts have phenomenal. I mean, podcasts. I would love if you told me you're doing podcasts and where they're coming from. But what I like looking for, the reason why, even though we can grow a Facebook group for free, and even though I can have my virtual assistants reaching out to people all day long, growing that for me, I still like running like a Facebook ad or Instagram ad, $50 a day, $100 a day, testing different messages. And but I'm not saying that's what you should do, and I'm not going to go into in depth how to run Facebook ads and how to test. Okay, what I'm saying is that this is the question: do you have one predictable source and stream of lead flow coming in that you can predictably make decisions on it because it's the same type of prospect? And so I bought millions of dollars worth of traffic in my life, done tons of direct mail. And in the supplement business, we were spending, literally $1 million a month on ads. But there's a massive difference between the quality of a clicker, someone who comes from email, versus somebody who comes in off a Facebook ad or Instagram ad or a small ad versus a full form ad, right? And so those are all different things, right? There's a difference between driving an email to a landing page versus a lead ad. And those both work, by the way. The structure of converting them is just slightly different. You know what I mean? And so my question to you, first and foremost, like if we did a half-day concept together, and I'd sit there and be like, where are you driving your traffic from now? And if you're like, well, I'm just posting some Facebook stuff. Okay, cool. That's okay. Like if that's where we're at, that's where we're at, right? If we're testing new offers and trying to get our stagnant fixed, and you have an existing email database that are unconverted, well, maybe we would start right there on your messaging, put a 2-page Google Doc together, create 3 or 4 different hooks, only write 1 to 2.5 paragraphs. Okay. Very similar like the second helping campaign. I'm just looking for people to open my email, click my email, and
it's 2:00.
And either they buy or they don't. And I want to find out why they're not buying and why they are buying. Okay? So early on when we're launching something, and this is why I think you make a mistake when you just abdicate your whole media team. Especially, it's so easy to do it in high ticket. You know why? Because if you get 3 sales, you're like a hero. You're like, wow, I'm making $30,000 this month. But in supplements and in these like e-com, which I've been in both those businesses, I'm going to tell you, high ticket is easier, right? But it's not easy when you're not making sales, right? So you can feel that for me. It's not easy when when you're not making sales, and the level of frustration is super high. So where the data is going to come at are the people who are buying and not buying, okay? And so what does that mean, right? So that means I literally, if I'm driving lead ads and they're coming into my group, okay, we will have a chat sequence that will start engaging, okay? Hey, John, it's so awesome you're here. I want to make sure you saw this interview. Or, hey, John, it's awesome you're here. Did you get a chance to look at the 2-page Google Doc machine? And, if you do that with 10 people, you're going to get 2 or 3, 4 or 5 responses. No, I haven't, which means consumption's not there yet, which, by the way, I'm telling you, not enough of your leads are consuming your information. You think they are. Nobody reads books anymore. Nobody buys, I guarantee you, if I turn this into a book, people would buy it on Amazon, but they wouldn't consume it. Like a very small percentage would consume it. And then where is I going with that? Oh, I'm engaging early. Like I will physically go in there myself early on. Now, if you abdicate that to an agency, I am telling you, the $15 to $20 an hour guy who said he's helping your conversion rate is not doing any of this stuff. Or I will have my VAs let me know what people are asking. That is so very important, right? Oh, you haven't had a chance? No problem. Hey, I put the link here for you. Oh, you did. I noticed you haven't had a chance to purchase yet. Is there anything holding you back that I could clarify for you? Or like right now, I would say, hey, is there a bonus I could throw in there that's not there that would bring it all together? The ground zero testing for high ticket, and so I would get all that data, right? And we make the offer better, which feedback loop down this way. But then I'll also take their comments and I start feeding that into my content, my ads. Okay, if I'm running podcasts, I'm running that becomes my next topic, right? And so when your future prospects start going to your channel, every single thing relates to them because you're just doing a feedback loop, okay? In the Facebook group, it's the same thing. So your clients will tell you exactly what they want, okay? I'm just gonna tell you that. Pick one channel, okay? Facebook's the easiest thing to start targeting right away. YouTube's great as well, but it only works for certain offers. I'm just thinking in my head, like Twitter's definitely something on my radar because I have a really good friend of mine who, considering it, he did a 3-hour training in my traffic mastery event in Atlanta, and he's just the best media buyer I know for across multiple channels, and he just loves Twitter because you could target, get cheap clicks and stuff like that. You simple testing, create a small little budget, test it. If it's not working, if it's not hitting your certain baseline metrics, kill it. Depending on the niche you're in, we would probably know what your target cost per lead should be. If you're way higher than that, you should be getting new messages in quickly. And if you're not making any sales, you got to go back through this whole process. That means your offer's broken. Your offer's totally broken. You can jump in the Facebook group. You can hire me for a half day. You can come to a live workshop, which the live workshops, I really would encourage you to do that as well. I want to say, what questions do you have? Because we're almost done. Now, after you start dialing this in, right? The thing is, you don't come out with a new offer to the cold market. We got to make sure our ascension plan, which I'm not going to talk a lot about here is, but I've kind of give you some different layouts, right? So you have your initial offer, and then you work your way up to the high ticket. But I also teach initial offer, immediately offer your high ticket, and then work your way down. Okay, it's like pyramid up, but you also have a pyramid down, and they get introduced to your client soon, both of them. Because if you're a fast action taker, you're going to want the high ticket thing, or at least to know what's available. Like, well, what's your coaching entail? Okay, what's the investment? Is it $18,000 up front, or is it $5,000 with $1,870 a month, right? And so you want that, a lot of people don't want to go through. I mean, smart people. Let me just tell you, smart people don't want to go through 4 days of content and pay $2,500. Smart people would rather spend 2 days in an intensive and pay twice the amount, but get the results super fast and have the intimacy and get the recordings. Like, that's why the workshops work super well. People are at different phases of their life would just prefer to buy it one-on-one. And so you have all those, right? You have all those different people. That's why the half-day consulting options are great, because you have people that are super busy. They're buying you to replace time. I don't have 2 days. Okay, you don't have 2 days. Plus, we're killing it. I just need some insight. Okay, great. Hire me for half-day consulting. I mean, my most favorite client was one that came here with his wife, half-day consulting, happily paid. It wasn't even an issue. Wanted to talk about his business and this guy's super uber successful. Wanted to talk about his ideas, and I was thinking about doing a $100,000 coaching club. I already got this coaching club, and I'm a little bit older. I don't really want to do as much work. I want to replace myself in the business. What concerns do I have? And then that was great. We sat and drank coffee in the house, and he was amazing. I actually felt like I learned more from him. And a lot of work, a lot of royalties came out of that. So I highly recommend getting a half-day consultation in there, right? One of my good friends in one of the medical practice niches is doing consult. He does group coaching, does podcasts, a couple different weekend Zoom webinar type things to get guys on live with them. He sells them into his group coaching, or coaching for equity, which he does one-on-one with equity in their business. He's got, I think, 22 people in it now. Started that over a year ago. Super bright guy. Okay. Now, where does he need help? Well, the market's shifted a little bit. You got to do more stuff on the front end. Why? Because we got to get more people coming in to listen to your weekend workshops, right? If your weekend workshop is the thing, then we need to find multiple angles on those weekend workshops, okay? And then scale those things up. Do more stuff. Do more outreach. Get more people on your funnel. So anyhow, it's a circular loop. And then the other thing is Ascension, and I brought up partnerships, partnerships and leveraging the assets you build up, which we're not going to go deep into that right now. Because I think if you don't have your offer fixed, if your offer's not working, we can't. I mean, we don't want to talk about what we're going to do a year from now. The counter argument is that sometimes you need partnerships right now to help solve an offer issue, which is something else we can talk about as well. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I appreciate you asking for this. This is just the quick funnel fix for high ticket offers for consultants and coaches. Let me know what questions you have. Post them in the group, and then if you want to do work one-on-one, email it over to ed@o'keefelive.com, ed@o'keefelive.com, or you can message me on Facebook. You may want to do both just to make sure I get it sooner. We got a lot of leads coming in right now, a lot of new customers, so it's really exciting time for us. And then also too, if you are interested in attending one of our live workshops, where it's for people that already have offers, that are already making sales, not as many as they like to grow, they'd like to get better, but would like to also be around other coaches and consultants doing the same thing, not the same niche necessarily, but have the same goals and visions, and you want to see what other people are doing differently, and you also want to work through some of your thoughts on how to get better and how to grow your business. So you can go ahead and just email us at either ed@edokeefelive.com, message us on Facebook saying, just say workshop, and I'll get you all the fun details as well. And that's it, man. And ladies, be awesome, and appreciate you, and go kill it. All right, bye.